let's see here. Let me get this set up. I've got my volume up a smidge because now I'm doing Skype. I've got the video through my phone, watching the stream through Discord. We've got Terse, we've got Guardbuddy, we've got myself, we've got HerzenH joining, all from Traitors End, talking about Lodge Wars. I think we're ready. It's taken us an hour and 40 minutes, I think, to get to this point, and a bunch of microphone issues on my end. And I think we're good to go.
I think the journey was fun.
The journey was fun. There was a lot of meme games going on to watch and occupied. And even though you guys couldn't hear my commentary, it was on point.
You just called my games memes, dude. Those are serious top 10 decks.
Those are top tier.
Right? Yeah.
Top tier Mars level, man. Top tiers.
All right, so should I start with the place?
Yeah. So you were.
You could say something about it first.
Oh, right. Okay. Context. So I was playing against NinjaMethod, friend in the other lodge, Fragile Art. I'm playing Horus Heresy, and he was doing Fulgrim and Branthan. This Fulgrim's pretty scary. I managed to beat his once. Unfortunately, I didn't get that game because I am a big dumb, forgot to record it. But I got the last two. So here is the fail and failure.
These are actually games from the first round of Lodge Wars 4. And sadly, Fragile Art and Traitors End got paired.
We got paired up. The subtitle, the unofficial subtitle for this is Lodge Wars 4, The Lodge Warriors. That's what I'm calling it. That's the way it's going. I just needed to catch on for, like, you know, if I can get everybody across the world to hold hands and think hard about this, it can be real.
2 lodges enter, 1 lodge leaves.
That's right.
So we lose friends. All right.
So Ninja was playing Branthan and Fulgrim?
Yeah, and I was failing all fairies.
Okay.
And I kind of got the god hand on that straw here.
The first game was your fire versus his Apharius, right?
Yeah, or it was my fail versus his Fulgrim. And
Fulgrim, right.
His Fulgrim, it was nasty. I kept burning my hand to keep responding to his troops. I had nothing. Towards the end.
I think he had a pretty good draw. I saw it live, and it was, really bad for you. Like, pretty much everything went right for him, and you tried to catch up all the time, and lost. Can we just applaud Method really quick for not rage quitting after seeing Asper Belt's first turn with Bell?
Yeah. He stuck it out like a champ.
Proud of him. I mean, he played the first game really, really good, and I haven't seen the other 3 games. I know the results, obviously, but I'm kind of interested what went wrong for him.
We'll find out together because my memory is blanking as well. So.
Yeah, at this point, it's been about a week since these games went through. So.
Yeah, my next game's tomorrow.
I do like the replay. I like the replay. I like a lot of the features that they've added. They're small, but I mean, pinning the replays. I wish that we could pin more. If we could pin like 5 more, games, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
it would be really, really awesome if you could save the games outside of
yes,
the actual game.
That would be great for a lot of reasons. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think 5 videos are just a bit few. It's not enough, honestly.
No.
Especially if you have like something you want to record, like Lodge Wars or other tournaments, and like there are many one-day tournaments where you play like 10 games versus 5 different opponents, or even more, and it's bad if you can't save enough games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You maybe need them. There are always issues in any tournament, and yeah, it would be nice to have like at least 10 games. But I have no idea how big the servers are on which this game runs. Yeah. Anyways, if we want to talk about the game,
Ooh, that is a rough barge.
Thankfully, I got the rails out there.
Yeah.
Ooh.
and you have like really, really good troops on board to clear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of them survived. I didn't kill that guy, but
Was it a misplay? I'm not sure right now, but I think you could have killed completely, right?
it could have.
Yeah. Yep.
He's like this, man. Why he's slow down? Just have.
And leaving that
Yeah,
Jubak
but
out there. I
just
mean,
playing catch up right now, and we can't clear your board. That's his main problem.
and this was
And,
these games went into effect after the nerf to Branthan, correct?
yeah, after the nerf.
Okay.
So it's more rough for him.
So he doesn't have that shield.
No. Oh my god.
Feels bad. Yeah, and he gives up.
He's embracing death. Embrace death nobly. Sir NinjaMethod. There is an art to dying.
But you're break with your card back all the time. It's really nice. I enjoy it.
Thank you. I feel like I lucked out on the top 10 that I decided to go for that season. I like it.
It's actually one of the better card backs. Looks really, really good.
So it was rough over there. I don't think he could have responded to that. I mean, I got first turn. I got Ash. I had Kari there.
Yeah.
And going first as well is like mind blowing good.
Well, and then the one advantage that he could have had to give him some time with that Ekra, you had the immediate response to it, and that just blows a lot of momentum.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Branthan is not as good as he was with aggro anymore. Like, normally with the shield was very good, and buffing your whole board instead of adjusted troops.
Mm-hmm.
It's noticeable. He's not bad, he's still top tier, like, I have to check, but a lot of people run him this tournament, I believe. I think we have, where's Offense of War?
It's definitely harder for him to control the board now.
Yeah, like we have 14 players or 14 teams out of 32 teams pick Branthan. Like nearly every second team runs Branthan.
Yeah, there's 14 Branthan and there's 6 Neurad.
Really?
So 20 Orphan of War warlords in the pool, which I think looks like it's just second to Sons of Horus at 24.
Yeah, but Sons of Horus.
That's all Horus.
it's Horus.
No Sons, just Horus.
No, not one pirate, not one Abaddon, not one Vulcan, just Horus.
Well, Terse has the best voice on this.
He has. But I really like the alternate art for Horus and also his interaction with other warlords. It's pretty awesome. Oh yeah. I don't know with whom it was, but I think with Argrash, we sat there like for an hour and checked every warlord and the interaction with Horus. And he has like with every second he has a special interaction. Like I really enjoy his interaction with Fulgrim when Fulgrim says, I've changed, and answers with not as much as you think, and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Like, it was worth it, $10, I have to say. Yeah, there it is.
He's just looking for that one line. He's gonna cling to that like Uncle Rico.
Already taped.
Let me tell you about this one time I beat Guardbuddy with Malkarian.
I honestly think the concept of Malkarian isn't that bad, but he just doesn't work.
He doesn't.
Especially compared to the other warlords. Like, even the Flame Master has more value in this game. Like, he's so good with aggro.
Yeah.
And Malkarian has, like, nothing.
I think if Malkarian's ability was either lower cost or he had a change in initiative, I think that would be beneficial to him. I mean, the card pool is very strong, so you can't over-tune it. But he's just there. But yeah, like you said, I mean, Modern can beat him out just by his ability.
He doesn't work as well with his troops as other warlords from the...
No, he doesn't.
Or like, especially Mercy and Forgiveness work super well with Curse, obviously, and with Savitar, but not so well with Malkarian. It's too expensive.
Like, you can select 0 cost and he had high initiative.
You guys know he has a Battle Honor?
Yeah, Battle Honor draw card.
I get that all the time.
If he had Terror and that Battle Honor draw card, and he didn't have that ability anymore, or they changed his Battle Honor to draw card and give +2/+0 to an adjacent unit.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. To be honest, at the moment I would like the 5th Nightbot Warlord, the one you can get from the Assassin, more than
Oh yeah.
Like the Frontline and Shield.
That's one of the best reasons to play Kalidas. Yeah.
That's a pretty cool warlord. I have no idea why they don't implement him. He's actually better than Malkarian.
I'll tell you, like, he works, his voice lines aren't as good.
Shh, Boulder Fire's too loud. You gotta say it like that. You gotta whisper, and then you put your finger up on somebody's lips when you do it.
That's such a good part in that movie.
It's over. Don't fight it.
Like the most GM voice line. Yeah, but he is such a good warlord. I don't know if you have read the Night Lord's omnibus.
No, it's on my list.
It is actually the best story I've read so far. It's so awesome. Like, I bought the book in German once, and bought the second book in German, and couldn't find the third book. And then I bought the omnibus in English as well. So now I have the books like 2 times. But it's worth every penny. It's the best read so far. Like, if you just like Blood Angels, you will love the first book.
Excellent. Yeah, I think those, and then the Talons of Horus is one I want to pick up. Even though Sigismund gets it in that book, it's, from what I understand, it's a pretty epic encounter.
I read it.
Most of the Horus Heresy books are quite good. It's compared to sometimes very good, sometimes abysmal. Yeah.
And it depends on the era too. I mean, a lot of the early Black Library stuff, I think it was just they were filling the genre and they were just writing it out there. Where they're at now, I think they've got a little bit more directive, but you still get those ones where it feels like they're just they got this guy who had a story that he wanted to write, and it's not that great, but they're going to sell it because it's Games Workshop, it's $40K, somebody's going to pick it up, but because there's no continuity, there's no like ongoing canon in the same scope as like Horus Heresy, it's not as heavily policed, and they can have some crazy shit going on.
And to be honest, like the Xenos books aren't as good as the Imperium books.
Correct.
And everything which is about Imperium and Chaos is pretty decent or very good. And the Xenos books are like, hey, we need something for those factions as well. Let's write something. Yeah.
I remember when I started. Yeah, I remember when I started reading and playing all at the same time. It was like 2000s, and like I don't know if it was a friend or if it was like an article I read. Something was like had explained basically Black Library's take at that time was everything was just from the Imperium's perspective, so you were never going to get like you could get a short story that had a Xenos character in it, but you were never going to get a book that was like focused on just a Xenos faction. It was always going to be the Imperium versus the Xenos perspective. But as time has gone on, they've kind of changed that, but it still seems like it's tilted where, and I don't know if that's because people think it's hard to write from an alien perspective or they don't want to dive too deep into an alien thing. Whereas the codexes, they're like, here's all the background, here's all these characters, here's their stories. You'll never hear these from, the Imperium because that's bad propaganda. So.
Yeah, but I think also the concept of if you write a book from the perspective of Xenos, it's hard because they have completely different structure compared to the Imperium or to like human ideas, like Elder who are like 40 million years old, like the faction itself. I think their thought process is totally different compared to humans, and it's difficult to write a book that really shows it. Like for a short story where you don't go into detail too much, it works, but as a book, might fail. I have no idea. Write books.
Yeah. Actually, has anyone read the Fabius comic books?
I have not. No. Are they good?
Really good. They're actually really good. I didn't care for the character at all before, but I'm a big Emperor's Children fan, so I picked it up regardless. And I really like the character. Now I wish his ability was a bit different, because I would love to know.
What really, I think, is it Storm of Iron? Yeah, it's where the Iron Warriors plunder the gene lab, which is guarded by Imperial Fists and the Titan Legion. I think it's Storm of Iron, but I'm not sure. That's really, really good. Like it's super old. It's like one of the, but it's still one of the best stories from a Chaos perspective I've read so far, and it's pretty cool.
The Hansu books are really good too for the Iron Warriors. The Hanzao, whatever his name is.
Yeah, they're awesome. And I think Storm of Iron has the ascension of Hansu from like a captain to like the leader of that part of the Iron War. Like I don't know the Wops, the Smith or whatever he's called, like ascends to Demon Prince, and you have like 2 playable warlords in this book as well. Can you show me the Iron Warriors?
What, Falk and Forex?
Yeah, Falk. Yeah, right. Those 2 are like the captains for Warsmith.
That is really cool.
The biggest thing that like got me was, did you guys ever read the Farseer book by William King?
Yeah. No.
It was such a good story, and they just cut it off completely. Like, they've never made a sequel to that book. It's like from like 2006, 2007, until Blackstone Fortress came out for 40K, and they butchered the character, changed his name slightly, and made him the main character in that. They just ruined that storyline. It was so good.
That's a shame. Oh yeah, did you read any of the Blackstone Fortress stuff? Like, you know, perspective from the robot in that story, which is actually kind of cool.
I haven't, just because I'm so mad that they butchered the character from Farseer and that guy, so I just ignored it. I was like, no, it's...
Yeah, but I think the whole franchise as a total is really moving in the right direction. Like, I am not too happy about the tabletop right now. I love playing 30k, but 40k is... there are some changes that I don't like compared to the last edition. But from the storyline and storytelling, they really improved. And I think they got a lot of players, and if I watch the Reddit as a subreddit for the Horus Heresy, like there's like every few days there's a new player who says, hey, I've read about Warhammer and I found this cool card game, and yeah, it really drags people into the universe.
Yeah, I mentioned that in one of the last Q&A, I think, or the one before that. And I mean, the books are such a good entry point to the universe. And like they used to, like the old Black Library books used to have like a splash page of the 40k game, like a mini and like a rule book or whatever. So you'd be like, oh, there's a game to go with this book. And it would be great if they had like a splash page at the back of the Black Library books to just be like, hey, if you like the books, play the characters, you know?
Yeah, but still, it's an expensive hobby.
Yes.
Like, I have 2 armies, and I don't know, or I don't want to know what I paid for them, to be honest.
You don't want to think about it.
Yeah, and suddenly you start buying Titans from Forge World, and then you feel really bad because you have to explain it to your relatives, like buying very expensive plastic models.
Oof.
Yeah. Well, my better half paints them for me. That's actually pretty nice, and she accepts the hobby. But yeah, it's mind-blowing crazy.
I think I've got 6 armies right now. Feels bad.
That's the only. That's one reason why I like Kill Team, because you can do like a small little force.
Yeah, Kill Team is really nice, and it's smart to do that. Like, the games are fast, and you don't have to rent a whole truck to move your army.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
And especially if you have some old models like the metal ones.
Ugh.
A friend of mine has like a metal Thunderhawk from the 2000s, end of 90s, I don't know, and it's like 15 kilogram of pure metal. It's crazy. No, for real, it's like 2 kilos, I believe. It's crazy.
It's a dangerous Thunderhawk.
It used to be a showcase item, and now it's just like it's just like second fiddle now to the stuff that they do, that they put out. I mean, the models are fantastic. They put out some great stuff, but yeah, the price point is just, it makes you second guess yourself sometimes.
Yeah, especially some models are way over the top. Like, I really like the Warlock model.
So did you beat? Oh, not to cut you off. Did you beat Branthan like pretty soundly with the Alfarius, or did that go quick? Did I miss that? Or were we just talking and I totally missed the replay?
We haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
I'll leave this to show because I think it was. Oh, I feel so bad. This was not a nice game. Alfarius, like when you get a good hand with Alfarius, it kind of just shuts down everything. And I'll show you. No, thank God, no. I never run those.
It's stun, right?
It's stun. I actually like to play more troops than stun sometimes, but for Branthan, I kind of just want my standard one. Yeah, let me play it up. I actually run Ghost Suns because it's actually really useful.
I think Melgato does the thing as well. Like, if you want to
Yes. I also run a lot of card draw in my deck, just because I like to cycle through everything. It's a little bit dangerous against Random because of Pirate Raid, but I still go with it.
Yeah, but if you fill his hand as well, Raid is as good for him either.
Yeah, not as good.
And to be honest, Pirate Raid on paper looks awesome. It's really cool, but often you don't have enough energy to play it because you want to play something else as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it ends up being kind of like, well, I guess I'll try a couple pirate raids and see what happens. Unless you're playing against Uswegi, and then you can really make some work.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
It's getting first turn again.
Yeah, but he had a pretty good start.
Yeah, double
Yeah, it's not bad.
double Norns pumped up.
It's that.
So honestly, doesn't look too bad for him. But I think the Garula was too early. Like, I see the value.
Yeah, he could have held on to that for something.
Yeah.
Unless he's thinking that there's not too many troops in your deck.
And I think he misplaced his troops a bit. Like, why does he need to buff the carries?
Yeah. Unfortunately, like, really early Harley just takes it all out anyway.
Yeah, you're at 9 and he's at 7. Oof.
Yeah. I think that was a slight display there.
Yeah.
Yep. That's why you do Goldstones against Branthan.
Yep.
But I think the Secret Twin doesn't have so much value because he outscales you via his wallet ability. And so it's kind of a dead card.
Yeah. I do have to say, I did like how he just unstunned his guitar protector.
Yeah, this was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see many people use Jam for their own troops. Like the standard Slayer of Worlds, Jam him. Okay, that's pretty commonplace. And I think everybody knows about it. But like to unstun or unpoison the troops, it's pretty good.
It's a smart clutch play, yeah.
And Gem is way underrated.
I can see why people don't take it, but it's such a nifty little utility card that really can squeeze into any deck if you wanted to.
Yeah, but I like the troop, like the 5/4 Gem troop. What's its name?
Sigma Phi.
Yeah. Yeah, it has like a bit more value. Like you have something on board as well, and you don't need Gem as early. That has to be 1 energy, and yeah, I think attached to troop good.
Yeah.
And especially here, the Euro tank gets played a lot more often, I have the feeling.
I still see it.
Double heroin right there. That locks it.
Yeah.
Put him out of the lodge. Get him out.
Yeah, it was a rough one for Fragile Art. I think the matchup in general, I think we swept them like 3-0, like all of us won. If I'm correct?
Yeah.
Yep. It's Fulton also won.
Yep.
The games were close.
Yeah, the games were close, but yeah, it was a clean sweep. So it was a rough matchup for them.
But we've also in our group for Traitors End, we've got Vermintide and is it Ironborn?
Yes, it's
or Iron Will.
Yeah, Iron Will.
Iron
That's
Will.
the correct translation. Like I learned some Russian the last 2 days. Like I can't type those Russian letters, so for me to talk about lodges with my co-organizer, it's good we know some English names for it. So yeah, I had those Russian guys translated for me. It was pretty nice of them. It's nicer than copy pasting the name every time.
Yeah, I like going through some of the past things when I went through all the event posts a while back to kind of see like and like some of the lodges aren't around anymore, but you see enough of the names repeatedly, and it's like, what does that stand for? What does that name mean? And finally, now for me, it's just like picturing the characters and associating. But there are some, like when there's a new name that pops up that I haven't seen before, it throws me for a loop, and I've got to find out who they are.
Yeah, like I've never seen someone from Knights Errant, and I thought, why do they have a own channel on the official Discord?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the Russian lodge from that's actually translated Knights Errant. I was like, no,
Yeah, and I think they've been around since the beta testing, so
since ages. They're like one of the oldest lodges, I believe. And they are actually pretty good. So I've seen their match results, and they made a strong showing. Like they played versus the Seekers and also swept them. And Seekers have very good as well. Like they have 6 in the tournament, but all of those teams are pretty good. Like
who's in their teams this time around?
Seekers? I have to check. Like I have a member list, so players you could know.
There's a Seekers in just about every bracket.
Yes, and I think players you could know is Sidor and Sonic. They are both in the top 50. They both play for the Seekers 10. They are pretty good, obviously. Then Ein here plays for Seekers, and he's like top 50 for ages. Then who else do we have? I don't know how to pronounce his name. It's like Saxon Medvedko. He's pretty good. Toriel, obviously, he's ranked 2 at the moment, if I'm correct. Plays for Seekers. Yeah.
Are you just doing Lucius on ladder right now?
Yeah, a bad way to gain points, but it's fun.
Is he working out for you?
Every round that I face, I know I'm probably going to lose. I can do well against the Sounds, so that's something. Yeah, it's just that the fact that Emperor's Children have so many good, like, 3 health cards, and you can consistently put down that damage, but Braum he takes them out, a game where he drops down those monsters and don't have the health to beat.
That's something I would really want to talk about, like the difference between Warlords with 2 and 3 attack. Like, I noticed the difference really hard last event when Reinstorm came out, and okay, in that format was like especially good to have 3 attack, Kabanda.
Yeah.
Like warlords applies, but in general, like, makes difference. Many troops that drop early have 2, sometimes 3 health, and like, if you drop a U-Bug early, or like the cheap frontline, what is it, the 2-3 frontline from the Imperial Guard.
Oh, the Syrian 12th, or whatever it is.
Yeah, and to clear them in one turn, like, that's really, really good.
Yeah,
And
because I used to run them all the time, but not so much anymore.
And for a long time, Angron was the only one who could do it. Now you could say Russ has the ability to do it, but he's hacked for it. And Raum can do it and profits from those cheap troops as well, because he heals. And Commander also, like, those warlords are really good early on and can press an advantage into the mid and late game. Like, because nothing sticks on board early on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really good.
Yeah, I
The only
think
difference is, like, Angron, you can't put down the troops. So
Okay,
at least you can still build a board, but against something like Kabanda or Rom, they're going to be building that board against you.
yeah, and I think that was because Sevatar was the second warlord with a 3 attack, if I remember correctly. But his trade-off is if they put down a troop, he loses, so he doesn't have that advantage at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could argue that Lucius has.
That's true.
Well,
He 3 or more, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, just at the cost of energy.
Yeah, but the difference with Raum is that he heals and is faster than Lucius, I believe. Lucius is medium.
Plus unstoppable.
High? Okay.
Yeah, if he was medium, oh my goodness, that would be very bad.
Yeah, but I think this one attack more is really, really good. Like, get your troops down, and your opponent can't clear them, like, or needs 2 attacks to clear them, and clear the board in the first 2-3 turns almost immediately. That's really, really strong. Like, especially to get a board, or to prevent people from getting a board as well. Like, Lotara has not much to offer versus Raum or Kabanda. Like, Raum trades in it for 0 energy and 0 health, like, for free. And that's really, really good. And I think that's also the reason why those warlords are played very, very often and have so good win rates. Like, if you play Iron Hands, like, I know not many people play Iron Hands, but those early troops don't stick.
No, and you want that. Yeah, you want, like, if you're usually banking on Tarek squad being a strong first or second turn play, and it's a pointless play against Rom. Even if you've got Duquesne, he just flies over and chomps him.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is bad. Not sure if you're watching, but
Why did you do this?
Yeah, I'm watching.
I'm thinking here. I'm not sure what to do.
Well, he's only got 2 cards in hand, so maybe he won't have any big nasty demons to drop on you. There's wishful thinking.
Yeah, right. But you need to kill
the toad.
I don't know.
Just make a demon.
Make a demon. Do it.
Okay. Oh,
I think the portal is way worse. I have no idea what he has in hand, but I see a 5 or 6 drop right now, dropping in your face. See, that hurts a lot. And another toad, yeah.
Oh, this is bad. Why did I play Chaos Spawn?
Oh god.
Well, now he's going to peter out though. So this is where you want your targetized sacrifice. Come on.
This is when you want to press the button with surrender.
Totally different faction.
Still win this.
You can do
Still
it.
Win this.
Top tier play here. You got Melgator.
Not Melgator.
I'm coming to help.
Oh
god, what have you done?
He had three cards in hand.
Disgusting.
One of them was that shit. Well, now he's got more cards in hand.
And
Oh god. This is horrible.
yeah,
Oh no.
and this is Slayer of Worlds.
Oh boy.
Is this Slayer of Worlds? It is.
Please let it be. Just
It
do
is.
it. Oh, that is still bad.
Still not good.
Oh no. You can munch on Duke for now. Just don't hurt me. Yeah.
It's a
Well, I mean,
This went
I
forward.
signed up for this. I play Chaos Spawn, so.
This ranked?
yeah.
It is right now.
Oh.
This is minus 15 points.
I can get him back sometime later.
Is this lethal? Yeah, it is, though. 10, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh, no. It's 1.
Oh, I didn't get it.
Oh. Yeah, but that's just a turn later.
I'll
There's
kill
nothing
something
you can-
like that and squash this. Wait. Oh, I can't even do that right. I'm not thinking.
You're flailing your arms wild, buddy.
Give it a club.
So this is the high terror people speak about?
This is a weird high terror. This is not indicative at all of what I see normally.
I can just imagine this Kyrie's just like hopping. I was like, I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna throw this up in there, see how this goes. Just Ezio's like, wow, what a dumbass.
This guy's running Chaos Spawn in high terror. Am I missing something?
Yeah, that was quick.
Game
Why?
player.
Yeah.
Game.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean,
Is
Chaos
there-
Spawn is. Oh, sorry.
There are 0 people playing Chaos Spawn in the Lodge Wars.
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
There's,
There's a good reason. There's a very good.
yeah, I think honestly, surprisingly, with the Raven Guard changes, I know you'd mentioned before, I think we started recording, was a lot of people switched over to play Korax once they changed the Raven Guard buffs. I kind of wonder why there was a few that didn't switch over to like Mandragorax, maybe even Dar as like a counter to that, because you can shut down some of the stealth sentence guys with just those warlords.
Yeah, but I think
It's a gamble.
yeah, but the Raven Guard, which is played right now, is different from what was played like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Like
Oh, yeah.
many Raven Guard players were more control heavy, and I had some discussions with some good Raven Guard players just to find out what I should improve on my Korax deck, and it's faster. It's way faster now than the control Korax many people played.
Are they
Like,
on aggro?
yeah, more aggro, yeah, and like especially what's it called? They changed
The Moradun.
Moradun,
Moradun is definitely a pinch play. That card is great.
Yeah, it is great, and I have never seen it run as often as now, because it's just straight up good.
Yep.
It has an immediate impact. It works really well with the Thunderhawk, the Umbra Secundus,
Mm-hmm.
and also Nex is better now. Like, Nex was a win more card.
Yeah.
Like, you drop him, and then next turn you give send, and maybe another sentence, and whatever, and play with your opponent if he was already more or less dead.
Yeah.
But he had no real impact immediately. Like, on release, he was crazy. Like, Umbra Secundus into
An 11
Next
damage
was-
basically, plus your warlord was a huge threshold. It was a 15 damage lethal.
yes, and not much people could do about.
Yep.
now it's still very, very good, and he has his place and is one of the better legendaries, I believe. And what I have seen so far is that people drop Mordaten or Mordaten, whatever they are called, so the snipers.
Yeah, I got rid of them on mine.
I run them once because I like them, and I think they are really, really cool. But there's a lot of anti-stealth in the game nowadays, and they don't survive very, very long.
Their speed is a big problem. Yeah, you might get one use out of them, but by the time you want to use more, especially in the late game with the Raven Guard, you have got 1 or 2 5 cost plus cards that you want to play, and then you have to sacrifice that to use their ability, and it kind of becomes an unfair trade-off at that point.
Yeah, and the problem is people expect you to run Stars troops, and they have answers, and more than one. And I had some games with Shay Goofin, like for his Lodge Wars matchup, and holy moly, people run so much anti-stealth, especially if they expect something. You are in a world pain if you think stealth is reliable.
Yeah.
And Raven Guard has enough fast groups, they have enough flank groups, they have great tactics, and they have enough options to play cards that have an immediate impact instead of setting up something.
Right.
And that helps a lot, I believe.
Like if you can get Raven's Talons, and then there's that, I think their 5 cost troop that pumps up the attack of your Warlord. It's it's a turn or two, but they're a 6 health body threat, and then you've got a sneak attack for 3 attack. That's you're chumping out there.
Also, Shadow Ones are really, really great.
Yeah,
nowadays.
Shadow Ones are nice.
And I think they made really, really good changes for the Raven Guard. They are good. They are not too strong. And I feel like they caught the spirit of the Legion very, very well.
I agree.
And I think that's also a reason why many people think they are good and run them in tournaments. I know there is a tournament in the planning, a one-day tournament, and with Legion cards only, so no neutrals, only if you play neutral Legion, and there was some playtesting, and with Legion only cards, you lack the anti-stealth, and then stuff like Raven Guard becomes good, and I believe some cards might be banned for the tournament, just for balance reasons. But there's so much anti-stealth in the neutral card pool. Like, I don't know how many anti-stealth Mechanicum has, and also the Euro tank works with anti-stealth because he jams
random it, yeah.
And Raven Guard are not very known for setting up big boards, especially not those warlords which rely on stealth, like 6 has a chance to pump up a board, but else it's futile.
This is
Oh, that's gonna be it doesn't even have to be friendly.
Nope.
It's gonna come in handy. So you get like 3 of those Beast of Pyrus or Pythos.
Please. Let's do it.
What is it? What's it gonna be? Oh,
my.
Nice.
That's disgusting.
So that makes him sad.
I'm not sure if Ash and Bones would have been smarter, just to preserve some more HP.
Maybe. It was a hard choice. Oh. Cameo? Is that cameo?
Please, sneak attack.
Oh no.
Oh no. Hey, his father
Yeah, maybe kill Surta with
Yeah.
and yeah, you have to trade Vulcan into the
Mhm.
or
You could add some bones.
yeah, you can, but then you can't play Fast Decay. Best play, obviously.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything in his hand, so it's all top deck for him.
Yeah, right.
Kill the 5/5. Ashen Bones is 6/1. Play your Gardos and your Etot. Oh, no, you can't. Just pick one of those.
I would play Father Decay. I would go for
Yep,
it.
do Father Decay.
Just fuck it, yeah.
Do it.
This is
Go
so
for
risky.
RNG. It is risky, but this is a fun stream.
Terse, you're right.
Oh, yellow.
Make-
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, he went out 5 damage.
Goodbye, guard.
Yeah,
Right?
it's immortal.
This is where he gets. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
But you see him thinking, there's a problem. He doesn't
Laughing
know
his
what to
ass right now because he got beat
No.
somehow. Architect.
He can't architect that.
Oh,
Can't
yeah.
do that. Oh, that's so good. I'm glad I swapped that color.
What's it do? Just send it back to your hand.
Yeah.
I just get back.
He just bounces it. That's what you get for tearing in reality.
So,
Let's get big.
what does it cost? 202? Maybe bounce
Do the one
no,
or three.
No, why would you bounce one? Kill the one Vulcan and bounce the Chaos.
Wait.
No, don't do that because he could draw Camille.
No, before the 1/1.
He could do the Camille. So yeah,
Right, yeah.
bounce the 3.
No, wait. Kill the 1/1 Vulcan. Use Father Decay another time,
Mm-hmm.
and then attack with Father Decay
Into the 3.
But if he gets cameo, I'm dead. Because I should have 3 damage.
Oh, it's tough.
No.
Crazy.
My play is smart. It is
Okay.
smart. Do it.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Attack him.
Bounce
Come
it.
on,
Attack the
hey, Sword Curse Squad. Good to see you again.
What's it
I'm
gonna
gonna die.
be?
He has cameo. Watch it. He has cameo.
Come here.
Hope will never fade. Oh, it's gonna fade this time.
Oh god, okay. Oh,
Nice.
that works.
Chump.
Wait, no, I don't have.
Nope.
Oh,
You
wait.
don't have to.
Oh my god. I was like, hey, I got lethal.
Maybe play the front line too.
And then pump, and then bounce.
Bounce? Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
Feels bad.
Chump.
That is good. I like this. And then I can.
See, the greedy play. That's solution to everything.
He has 13 cards. He has.
You got command versus 10 right now. You're good.
Trying to heal. He's trying to buy time.
Yeah, but that's futile.
Oh, that's it.
The Vulcan can
Oh, that's a C-pass.
Nice.
That's really cool. That was a long game.
That was that. Jeez. Well, that's the downside of the salamanders.
Yeah.
But I think they are reliable, especially Vulcan.
Oh yeah.
He's good, and people just play him. Just don't play him because he's slow. Like your game's 10. Yeah, take like 10, 15 minutes, especially if you face another slow warlord.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
especially the matchup Motarion versus Vulcan is a nightmare.
Oh, please no.
Those are reserved for the late night shits.
Yeah. But you can do well against Rom, which makes me really happy.
Yeah.
I gotta go. Y'all fellas be good. It's been fun.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock for me as well, so I'm gonna sign off here. But thanks for showing us the replays on the round 1 Lodge Wars. Kind of talked a little bit as far as the matchups here. We've got week 2. Traitors End is squaring off against. Who are we going up against this one?
Let me check.
That's shameful for me not knowing.
Are we off against Vermintide?
Yes.
Okay, so we're squared up with Vermintide. Hopefully
Are you
we.
paired with Matze?
What? Ooh.
I am paired with DNGR Diabolic.
Okay. So who has Cobalt Han Matze? Yeah, right.
I don't know.
I could just check. It's so much easier.
Into the matches.
Yeah, it's Cobalt Han versus Matze. It's wrestling matchup. Both are very good players.
Yep.
And Matze has a special art place in our heart as well. Wasn't he in Traitors End for a moment?
He stepped in for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. For a short time, yeah. So that will be fun.
It'll be a good thing to see how it progresses. Hopefully we can maintain and you guys can make it into the top cut there. But yeah, the overall, I mean, brackets are pretty intense. Competition looks good, and I like the turnout that we've gotten.
Yeah, and there are some surprises also on the matchups. I think like I couldn't foresee Masterclass losing round 1 with the Seekers. It was something I never expected. Same with Mark. I thought Otto would carry, but he didn't. And
it is much different because the meta this time around is so much more different than the last Lodge War. I don't know if people are like, for me, like, it's playing against Branthan is not something I feel completely comfortable with. Like against Russ and the previous stuff, it was easier, but it's harder now.
Also, I think the big difference is that we don't have Fog of War anymore. Like, it was fun, I would say, in the last Lodge Wars, not knowing what your opponent is running, round 1. But also, there are some warlocks who profit a lot from it and fall off in later rounds.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, if you run stealth-heavy warlords or some one-trick ponies, it's off guard if you win round 1, but then everybody knows and adjusts and suddenly it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
And it's fun, but I think for a bigger tournament it's not helpful to make people pick those warlords that aren't reliable and are counter to easy.
Yeah, and I guess another problem with the Fog of War is like especially friends who played against certain players, like you might know in advance while other players might not. So in terms of fairness, that's not.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the game is in a good state right now for a tournament. Like, we excluded the Green Storm card pool and the Blood Angels, and also obviously the White Scars, which are like for a few days. But everything else is pretty balanced, I would say. Like, you have favorites, like obviously Kovacs, Horus, Ransom, Raum. They are played by nearly every team, but there are a lot of warlords as well, which are run by many teams, but not by all. Like, I have seen a lot of Fulgrims. I have seen some Alfarius. I have seen, and surprisingly, Nassau.
Nassau, yeah, definitely.
I would like to talk for a second for the cut.
Sure.
This episode, because I did not expect him. Like, I really like him, but I prefer control heavy warlords as well, and that's something I feel very comfortable with to play. But I didn't expect so many people going for choices as well. somehow it's a favorite for many. And maybe some of you guys can talk about it a bit, since you face many of the participants on ladder more often than I do.
Well, yeah, I mean, Nassau too in the World Cup. And granted, the patch has kind of changed a little bit, and the meta adjusted, but I mean, only 7 people were running Nassau in the last event, or the last tournament rather. And I don't know if any of those made it to the top cut. Let me see here. Hang on. I'm just going back and looking at my old document there from the for the Custodes. I think at the end of it all, he ended up making it into the top cut. But I mean, we're now at 14 people playing Nassau, so it's a big change. He's clearly gone up in popularity.
He's the only warlord from the Legio Custodes that is picked.
Yeah.
There's not a single Shapura, there's not a single, what's his name?
Valdor?
Waldor, and what's his name? Amon. Yeah. Like, I think Amon isn't bad, and I see him in ladder, but, like, you should expect to see at least one or working on ladder to a degree. Same as for Nassau. I haven't seen Nassau as a top 5 warlord. Like, he works, but he's not like super strong. He's not like Curse or like Realm or Kabanda or whatever, or even Angron. Like, we have only one Angron in this tournament.
Yeah.
Really?
One Angron and one Erwin.
Yeah, we have Perturabo. I think maybe even 2. We have 3 Perturabos.
Okay.
Also, we have some Teals in the Gulliman. Like, surprisingly. And even a Gage, a Marius Gage.
Marius Gage?
Yeah.
I know who that is. It's probably Crow.
I don't know right now, but I will look it up. Who could play it? Who runs Gage? That's a good question.
Oh, Brandon's calling me. Goodbye, boys. Y'all be good.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us, good sir.
No problem. Thanks for let me join. Y'all be good.
Oh, was Crow not in the Lodge War?
No, Crow isn't playing Lodge Wars, as it seems.
Oh.
What is Crow's lodge at the moment?
Isn't it Erders de Arman?
Yeah.
Oh. So, who runs Gage?
That is a very bold choice.
It is?
It is.
I think so, just because the amount of aggro that you're facing, and let's see, Gage's ability is, let's see, what is it?
It's deal 2 to the Warlord or gain Survivor 1, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Who runs it, like?
And he's got a battle armor as well.
Oh
no,
Gage.
Gage is the one that's pump. I'm thinking Remus. Remus Ventanus.
Yeah, I mean, if you're behind, I think it's really good. But, oof. That's a rough pick.
It is, yeah. Oh. Am I wrong? Is nobody running Gage? Why is it in my list? Somebody runs Gage.
Maybe they were thinking about it.
Hey, they could have switched, right?
They probably switched over to Korax.
I have to talk to my little orc, maybe. But he provided me the wrong